From the excitement of fiesta, we move in number 21 to a drowsy little coastal village. Its name is Benidorm, or Sleep Well, which seems to be the prevailing mood. However, Benidorm is beginning to awake, for here on the Costa Blanca, the picturesque white coast facing North Africa, tourists are increasing and it is rapidly becoming a resort area. The North African influence can be seen in those sun-bleached buildings on the cliff, which remind us more of Morocco and Algiers than Europe. The Moorish influence is even more apparent in picture 22. This splendid minaret in Sevilla, capital of Andalusia, is all that remains of a Moorish mosque which was destroyed when the Spaniards reclaimed the city in the 13th century. A cathedral was erected in its place, and today the minaret is a Christian bell tower. Instead of flowing Moorish robes, the people of Sevilla now wear costumes like those in our next picture. This caballero and his lady fair are enjoying a sip of sherry at a spring feria or fair in Sevilla. The caballero's costume of brimmed hat, short jacket, and leather trousers was brought over to Mexico and later evolved into the 10-gallon hat and leather chaps worn by our cowboys. In number 24, we see some children of Sevilla wearing another traditional costume. They are dressed in the hooded garb of penitents, but for such little marchers, the procession is not the sorrowful event it is for the grown-ups. During Holy Week, groups of barefoot, robed and hooded penitents can be seen making their way through the streets of Sevilla. Now, if you will turn the slide card over to picture 25, we will come to a silent city which more than any other reflects the mysticism and grandeur of Spain. For over 2,000 years, Toledo has stood like a city hewn out of rock above the swift-flowing Tagus River. Romans, Visigoths, Muslims, Jews, Christians, many cultures have met and mingled here. The final victory of the cross is symbolized by the towering spire of the Cathedral of Toledo, which dominates the skyline. The city became the adopted home of the great painter El Greco in the 16th century, and he captured its brooding majesty in his famous View of Toledo, a view almost identical with the one we see today. In our next picture, we find another of the many faces of Spain. There is nothing austere in this scene, splashed with brilliant Andalusian colors. The girls have assembled in their most festive costumes for the Feast of the Vintage in September. It's appropriate that they should have a holiday honoring wine, for they live in Jerez, the town which gave its name to sherry. The popular white wine has been made here for hundreds of years. And now in number 27, we are in Granada, the last capital of Moorish Spain, recaptured by Ferdinand and Isabella in 1492. The Moorish kings loved splendor and beauty, and here in Granada they created palace gardens right out of an Arabian Nights adventure. Tourists walk these secret garden paths now, surrounded by the ghosts of sultans and jewel-encrusted dancing girls. However, as our next picture shows, there is still dancing on the streets of Granada. The two most famous symbols of Spain are the proud Castilian Don and the dark-eyed gypsy flamenco dancer, as far removed from each other in spirit as the North Pole and the equator, and yet both express the pride which is the essence of Spain. The Don with icy disdain, the flamenco dancer with flashing fire. The Moorish rulers of Granada encouraged art, literature, and science, and had marvelously cultivated tastes, as we see in picture 29. In the graceful arches and courtyards of the Alhambra, they constructed one of the most beautiful palaces in the world. The Court of the Lions is a quiet patio at the heart of the Alhambra's living quarters. Once a sultan was cooled by this tinkling fountain, but today the Alhambra is an empty monument to vanished glory. Dashing Moorish horsemen used to clatter through the streets of Granada, but now, as number 30 illustrates, their resplendent uniform is worn only by hotel doormen. This man works at a hotel in Cordova, a city which was one of the most brilliant Moorish centers in Europe. While the rest of the continent slept through the Dark Ages, here in Cordova, art and science flourished under the patronage of the Moors. People came to seek enlightenment at the great University of Cordova and brought back with them the continent's first knowledge of algebra, paper, and glass. Even today, with the Moors long gone, Cordova maintains its position as one of the most progressive cities in Spain. Now in number 31, we travel south to the Costa del Sol, or Sunny Coast. This old man is the skipper of one of the many fishing smacks in the port city of Malaga. Malaga is a thriving, picturesque seaport and resort. You can wander through twisting old streets that echo to the cries of fish vendors and orange sellers, stopping at seafood restaurants that serve delicious, freshly caught anchovies and red millet. Malaga has more hours of winter sunshine than any other city in Spain, for equatorial Africa is not far away. In our final picture, we stand on the southwestern coast of Spain looking out at the Rock of Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a British crown colony and fortress jutting out from the Spanish mainland, only a 10-minute ferry ride from North Africa. Out there, beyond Gibraltar, is Morocco, whose people long ago contributed richly to the heady mixture that is Spain. Many cultures have left their mark on the exotic land we have visited today, and Spain has contributed its language, customs, and the unique flavor of its civilization to many new lands across the sea. The day of the conquistador may be over, but Spain itself, with its ancient cathedrals, its palaces, its love of beauty, its proud and passionate people, waits to conquer all who visit it.